We're gonna try and rescue a Mach 1 Mustang that's been abandoned for 37 years.
This week on Dirt Every Day, we're turning this old Range Rover into the ultimate overlanding vehicle.
This week on Dirt Every Day, we built the ultimate pre-runner out of this old Ford Ranger.
That'll never work.
That's what I've been telling you.
We're back in the shop with our Mustang. This thing's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's a good time.
The 200 horsepower that our 8650 is putting out has to push around 3,240 pounds.
That's a bit much.
So to make it fast, we need to lose a ton of weight. I'm talking like 1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds?
1,000.
I don't think they make enough Sawzall blades to do that.
You're probably right. But I've got a different plan in mind. Instead, what we're gonna do is yank that 5-liter V8 in trans out of the Mustang, jam it into this tiny British sports car, and make a 5 OMG. We picked up this 1964 MGB X race car on Craigslist, and it's the perfect candidate for this. A bunch of the sheet metal's been replaced with even lighter fiberglass. It's got some suspension upgrades, some knockoff wheels, a bit of a cage, no engine and transmission. We tossed this thing on the scales just to get an idea of how light it is as a rolling chassis. The way it sits now, it weighs 1,260 pounds. That means we can add 1,000 pounds of V8 and everything else we need to make this thing a driver. Hold on. It'd be nice to go back 4 inches.
Yeah, it's top of the transmission is hitting the tunnel. We need to cut whatever we got to cut. Go ahead and pull it out.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot of work. My big concern is it looks like the length is gonna put the front of the engine like really far forward. Getting a radiator in there and that sort of stuff's gonna be tough.
So we did a dry run slapping the motor and transmission in, and everything looked like it was nowhere near fitting anywhere. So I'm going to start with the most interference that's obvious, and that's the top of the tunnel of the transmission. So we're going to cut out some of that, and we'll just kind of raise it a little, and then put the motor and tranny back in and see if we can bring it up where everything works good in the back.
Edelbrock manifold on there because we're going to convert this thing to carburetor, and our remote oil filter system is in place. He's got the ignition wires made. I see he's pushed the rack forward.
Yeah, push the rack forward to ruin the bump steer and all the geometry
Perfect.
that you work so hard to keep
I'm
accurate.
sure that'll feel good.
I'm there for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Drive shaft is made. Hydraulic clutch is functional.
Mm-hmm.
Brakes are good. We're really close on this thing.
Yeah, we need to do accessories, cooling system, carburetor, distributor. There's a lot left to do, but Lucky laid us down a nice base. Together, we'll knock this out and get on the road. So the next big thing we have to tackle is getting this thing to stay cool. And I found, I think, the only radiator in the world that is right for this setup. It's a Griffin 770035.
You go, David Freiberger.
It's for a Ford Falcon. It's 3 inches thick. It's just about the right length, and it has the outlets in the right place. But even with this radiator, there's almost no room between the water pump
Luckily,
and the car.
Tony saw that and ordered a shorter water pump.
I saw it in my mind's eye.
In your mind's eye.
So, I'm out here in the 5 OMG, one of the Malibu canyons, and this thing is a handful. Whoa, whoa! It's really tail happy, and the brakes are non-existent. This is a death trap of a car. Holy, woo! Man, this thing is out of control.
So I'm pretty sure all of this is going to come out. All right, I'm going to start pulling the truck apart. Dave's going to start cutting it up. We're going to get it down to the bare minimum before we can rebuild the thing. That looks safe.
Magnus Magnuson, world's strongest man, pulling this quadravan.
Watch out.
It's all coming together now. So I got the back wall in, but it's like super straight up and boring looking. So I'm gonna weld the roof hat on, and then I'll go back and I'll pike right above this back firewall. So I can kind of like lean the whole roof down and forward to give a little bit of a rake. And then after that, I just gotta build my A-pillars that'll go up to that.
I'm getting ready to build the bed. It's just gonna be a flat bed, and it'll be at the same height as kind of the seat platform on the cab. So we'll actually have some kickers that come up off the frame to support it.
This is where Dave breaks their new toy.
No, you got this. Oh, yeah.
So far, so good.
That way?
I think so.
I think so, too.
That thing poked me in the leg. There's one thing a forward control's good at. Doing donuts. What way do you donut? You donut left or right?
I think you should donut left.
I'm a left donutter.
All right.
Here we go.
This is like not Sample Junkyard.
I was gonna throw him a rope. This is arguably the best body style of Mustang.
This is the Mustang. This is the only Mustang. I looked for one of these for years. I was like, I'm priced out of the market. Can't happen. I think I can get a new bumper out of the yard, but
Air conditioning?
you'll
Jesus.
notice the one thing missing is the distributor. This to me has like that General Mayhem thing going on where it's like a radical body style, but completely beat and just an open canvas for thrashing. Is it the Mach None or is it the Disgustang?
The inside's pretty damn disgusting.
It's the Disgustang.
Disgusting is perfect.
We've come so far and we're getting so close. But then I got the hood hinges off the wrong year Mustang. So it's back to the yard to find the right stuff. Trashed. Ugh, no hinges. Mangled hinge. Wrong year. The hood latch is rusted shut. Giving up. Not one functional hood hinge.
David struck out. He's back at the shop putting the hood pins on the car. And I am going shopping in an ATV, searching for the elusive chrome air cleaner. Nope. 2-barrel carb. That's not gonna work. There's potential. It sucks that it's raining, and it sucks that this hood is smashed shut because under here is a 14-inch chrome air cleaner. I need a pry bar or drive shaft. All right, it ain't pretty, but it might work.
The dipstick says empty. Probably means massive leak. Power steering worked, except for it blew fluid everywhere. Where's it puking?
Water pump.
That's awesome. But look at the positive side. It banged into gear hard.
Sure did. It's about that test drive.
Oh, the lower radiator hose blew off.
Thought you tightened that.
I did, I ramrodded it, but I also greased it, so it obviously didn't like it.
Oh.
So I'm actually like really, really positive right now. I think it's gonna work. The transmission worked.
Oh yeah. So far, our starter switch has proven not too reliable. So I'm gonna add a power wire from the battery into the car. because I don't trust the wiring in the car either. And then I'm gonna run a wire from the solenoid into the car, and we'll just touch them together movie car style and hot wire this thing. I can't believe this car has sat here for 37 years and we're now driving it out of it. I know. We're about to pass the gate. Anything beyond that is a win.
It has way too much timing.
Second gear.
That's a lot of smoke out of the breather.
If we had a hood, you wouldn't even notice.
Ooh, I have a rearview mirror.
I think you might have all 3 gears.
I think it does. As a fact. Oh, the power steering just totally ran out of fluid.
I call that success.
You gonna measure the roof real good?
I'm gonna cut it right here.
The roof skin's all aluminum. When you cut it, it's all white sparks. All the yellow sparks or orange sparks is all steel. Are you writing your name?
The back half of the Range Rover is ready to come off. So if any of you viewers are looking for the back half of a Range Rover, we will have this sitting outside in the weeds here shortly. So at this point, there's no turning back. And in theory, it should just
It's just gonna fly off of there.
1, 2.
Look at that ground clearance.
Dude, this thing is ready to cross the Kalahari.
Is it just me or is it crooked? I'm feeling really good about this, Fred. Fred, come weld this.
I think we're off just a little bit. We need a safe and secure way to hold this gas tank in the bed of the vehicle. And since we can't come up with anything safe and secure, we're just gonna use this ratchet strap.
I'm becoming a believer in this project. I think once again we have proven that we cannot build something crappy. We pretty much build awesome stuff no matter what task we're given.
All right, so Dave's gonna crank it over.
Here's that thing you were looking for.
Down hard. So this will be the first time out of the shop. We still got a few things we want to finish up to it before we take it camping and rock crawling and mud bogging and pre-running and jumping and ranch racing. But let's go see if it will even stay together. So the gear ratios in all likelihood will not match. This has a manual, that has an automatic, that has a V8, this has a 4-cylinder. In all likelihood, when we get it on asphalt, the car will break in half. You drive forward and I'll drive in back.
Copy that, over.
Copy. Can you see me?
I don't have a mirror.
Let's go.
All right. Are you in reverse?
Go.
This is really scary.
This is a great idea. This is the greatest thing we've ever done, Dave. All right, don't run over the camera guy. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Okay. That worked perfectly. Dave, look what I got us.
What'd you get us? A wine cellar.
Tent house. Big money, big money. So it's really simple. You just grab this part here and then bring it down. I'm climb up in here, open all this stuff up, and climb inside. Now we can do stupid stuff.
All right, follow me.
Okay.
Go, Dave, go! You got it! Go, go, go! Fifth gear! We're going 100 miles an hour! We're winning the race! I don't see any other competitors!
It looks like the fan went through the radiator somewhere or something.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh, hey.
What?
Come here. I found something very interesting. This is the motor mount that's supposed to be down inside here. I bet that's all the banging and clanging when it goes into gear.
It doesn't sound happy.
Why is the air conditioner smoking?
I think we might have broke the rover.
Oh, it's glorious. It's gonna be fine.
Remember that time on Dirt Every Day when we started that
Field on fire?
field fire?
Okay.
Basically, this thing was sitting in some guy's junkyard for a couple of years, submerged in dirt. We took it, dusted it off, put a big turbocharger and some big injectors in this thing. It made almost 1,000 foot-pounds of torque and 400 horsepower.
What on earth could we possibly put this in?
I've got just the thing. So here it is, and now it's time to see what this kind of power feels like in a muscle car, muscle truck.
Oh, it's a question for the ages right there. Man, am I surgical with that thing or what?
Okay, so the way that we're gonna mount our GM 4L80E transmission to our Dodge or Cummins 12-valve diesel motor is with this sweet adapter from American Hot Rod Solutions. This is a big block of billet. These things cost about $1,000, but really it gives you a lot of different transmission options you would never have any other way. I'm gonna have to trim off a little bit of this iron engine block, and then we'll be good to go. The transmission we're using now is just a mock-up, empty box, so I'm not gonna put the flywheel in or any of that stuff yet.
Swing the jack all the way to the driver's side, the handle to the driver's side, there you go. Okay, push it all in. Go down.
So come on down then.
That's good. Down. Stop. So now we can see if the motor mounts will line up.
We tried to put the engine where it should sit. It's actually sitting on our engine mounts where we want it, and I think it's sort of the best compromise we can have because we only have so much room for a radiator and intercooler here, so we have to push it as far back as we can, basically until it hits the firewall. Then, as far as up and down, it's got to be high enough to get the oil pan off the ground. I think we're right there. It's a really good compromise between all those different things. We're going to kind of call it, and then Lucky's going to make a tunnel. I'll start thinking about accessories, and we can go from there. This thing is in. How's it feeling there?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared.
Yes! This is happening. This is amazing. Woo!
Gear Star transmissions, huh? Oh man, I knew that would totally work.
Yeah, I've never done it.
Totally. This truck pulled that thing, no big deal.
With the V6 gone, never to hurt us again, we needed a new drivetrain for the Rotson, and I've always had this scheme about buying an early Fox body 5-liter Mustang, yanking the guts out of it, and putting it into the car. And I think it's a pretty good plan. We bought this 87 with factory forged pistons for $1,500. And it makes only 225 horsepower from the factory, but it should be a lot better than that with boost. And at this point, there's no way to have a Rotson without boost. So the V6 is dead, and we got our first Ford on roadkill, and what are we gonna do? Rip it apart and put the engine in the Rotson.
Yes, but first, let's test the drivetrain for the Rotson by driving next to it.
I think we should, because Lucky bought this for us. You never know what could be up with it.
I think 5,000 is a good place to start.
6, yeah.
Oh, it does good donuts.
5.0s are really good for this. This will be really good in the Rotson.
Yeah, imagine all of this torque in that lightweight little car.
Oh, it's gonna be great. That's good.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd say it's worthy.
yeah, I think we can throw away the wrapper and keep the nougat. Let's see how she pulls.
Ooh, is the clutch soft?
Clutch is soft.
Yeah, that's a bummer. This thing will be amazing in the Rotson.
Clutch kind of sucks.
Yeah. Why is smoke still pouring out from under it? It's pouring steam. It blew a hose somewhere.
You think?
Yes, it might be on fire.
Well then, our work here will be done.
Mike's gonna wrap up that exhaust pipe, and I'm gonna take my 3rd attempt at not having the water pump leak. Yes, pouring. That is an official never buy again item. Sometimes you buy the cheapest possible thing you can to try and save some bucks, and it is not worth it.
I know this is a new engine and everything, new combo,
Yeah.
but I'm bringing back the old school.
Bringing back the hate. This cheap electric water pump is killing me. Yesterday I had to smear a bunch of RTV into one leak, and now I've got the pump out completely because I've got to access this janky outlet on one side that only has like 2 threads sealing the whole thing. So I'm gonna wrap it with like a death load of Teflon tape. If I can finally make this stop leaking, we can fire up the engine for the first time.
It worked.
Yeah! Wow, fired right up, no drama. The only thing we have to do is set ignition timing, top up the water, and I think we're driving. Got the thing fired up, got it warmed up, and of course, the water pump is now leaking. My best friend. I hate that thing. Okay, I'm giving up. We pulled the water pump out, took the electric motor off of it, ground off all of the coating, and welded the fitting solid. If that doesn't fix it, I don't know what will. That door latch isn't what it used to be. Oh well. Wow.
That's first gear.
Yeah. Holding that. Oh yeah. Oh dude. Oh wow. That was 9 pounds, right where we needed to be, right? 12.7 to 1.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's pretty good.
This is a success.
This
I would
outruns
say.
the V6. Definitely.